Hello Internet, welcome back to our Cataclysm series. We're playing the Fire playthrough. A little bit of an issue. So I recorded an episode, this was a couple days ago, which would have been this episode, except that I had my power go out. And the way that I record Cataclysm the way I record with OBS, the file type I use, if you for any reason can't finalize the video, you lose all that content. Additionally, my audio program requires me to export the file prior to it being available, and then of course Cataclysm itself does not save unless you tell it to. So basically we got reset about one episode. And what we had done was clear our vehicle, and then I went down here and was trying to work my way to, there was a bakery. We were working our way down here. There was a daycare which had a lot of child density, but as we got here, we actually found a zombie master and a corrosive zombie, and we dealt with those. And then we were going to clear out the daycare so we could get access to this bakery safely. And then the game, you know, my electricity went out and the game closed and all that stuff. So it was only out for a second, but you know that's all it really takes because you know your computer, once you lose power, you lose power. So unfortunately, we've been reset. I don't know. Actually, if we go to the debug menu and we go to spawn or map editor, no, they did change this recently, so I'm not sure how to do this anymore. Over map editor, I want to place a special. So if we go to this debug and we try to place an overmap special, let's just do a house. Oh, the game okay. So this is what I'm looking for. So this red area is area that has already been generated in the game. So if we go down here to, yeah, so this is where the bakery and such is. Because this is in red, it means it's been previously generated, which means the monsters and loot and everything already exist in these places. So if we go down there, we should see the zombie master again, the corrosive zombie, and whatnot. The other thing of note down here that we saw was a seed. Where is it? Gardening supply store. Not sure why it's a red F and looks like a forest. That's weird. But okay, gardening supply store had a lot of seeds in it. And I was thinking that, you know, this playthrough, instead, usually what happens is I build a little deathmobile, then I head out of a town and never look back and I become nomadic. I actually kind of don't want to do that this time. I think we're going to plant a bunch of crops, and then I think I might build my own little cabin or something, just so that I have something to do, and then just live here. And then we'll go out in the vehicle, of course, to loot areas that are not here, but I don't think we're going to live permanently in our vehicle the way I usually do. That way, hopefully, the game holds a little bit more entertainment for me, and I don't end up, you know, just bailing on the series like I usually do around episode 75 to 100. Anyway, all that talk's pretty boring, so let's go ahead and plop these things in the vehicle here, finish this off, install the cargo spaces. So we'll do this really quick. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's not a super big deal. It was just that one episode, of course, because, you know, if it had been more than one episode, I would have exported all that stuff and it wouldn't have been an issue. Oh yes, we need one up here as well. Let's go ahead and install that. Nope, that's the door. Down here. Oh, why? Why can't I install cargo space? Aisle with lights. No, that's not an aisle with lights. Oh, it is an aisle with lights. Never mind then. Go ahead and remove that. We don't want the aisle lights. I think we will put in our own aisle light. So that's the aisle with lights, which means it takes up the space there and it gives you a light. And what we would rather do is put a cargo space there and then go inside and fetch ourselves a flashlight and install an aisle, a light separate so that it doesn't take up that space. So if we go to the tools pile, we search for flashlight. We have many flashlights we picked up over the course of the game, mostly because we took the batteries out of them, and when you do that, it automatically places it in your inventory. So if we go ahead and we go to like the center of our vehicle, we go to install, you'll see we have the aisle lights option, which is different from the aisle with lights. So a little annoying with the language there. Pull the crane out here, Go ahead and drop the crane. And we'll remove this trunk and replace that with the cargo space. Let's actually step out of the vehicle so it doesn't put our things in the vehicle. Trunk. And my throat is very dry and scratchy today. Always exciting when you're gonna, it's Tuesday. I try to record for like 5 hours on Tuesdays. Arc welder, yes. So there's our vehicle squared away. And I guess we just head down there to fight those enemies. We shot them when we went before, mostly because of the corrosive. So if you don't know, the corrosive zombies are like the highest tier acid zombie evolution. And they're actually like incredibly dangerous. So we pulled back as far as we could and took shots at it until it died. The problem is they have like a staggering amount of HP and such. In fact, I'm going to real quick look at those numbers. So for instance, the corrosive zombie has pretty not incredible armor, which is not a big deal. It's mostly, if I remember right, yeah, they have 140 HP and 75 speed. So they're actually slower than I kind of thought they were. We did kill it. They do have a fair bit of HP, but I thought this was the fast one. It's actually the spitter that looks to be the fast one. So corrosives are not as fast as I originally thought. Zombie Masters, really no issue at all. They're not super dangerous other than their innate ability to upgrade things, which is what makes them real dang scary. We should eat and drink. It's also 4 p.m. We have time to get over there and back. And maybe we should look into taking another clip with us. How much ammo? We have another clip, but we can pick up some more if we want. Just because we now have that foreknowledge of what's going to happen. So do we have another Stanag mag? We do not. That's unfortunate. I don't think there's anything else. We could carry some ammo with us. This is currently using 223 Remington. Oh, no, that's the different ammo. I want... where does it show what it's actually stored currently? Ammunition 223 Remington. Is that all that it is? 223 Remington. We'll grab some loose ammo as well. I mean, the odds of us needing to reload are pretty low, but you never really know. Do we have any food on this pile? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and eat. I don't know, we have a lot of tuna. Well, yeah, we have a lot of shelf life on the food we already have. Go ahead and eat some tuna. Tuna, 305 calories. I mean, it's not bad. Tuna's pretty okay for you. A lot of protein in tuna. When I was incarcerated, guys would eat, after they would work out, they would eat tuna and oatmeal because apparently they're full of protein. Although I didn't know that oatmeal was full of protein. Something here was rotten as well. Let's pull those out of here. I suppose we should actually unload to get the bottles. No, who cares? I mean, honestly, if I get to a point where I'm hurting for plastic bottles, I've done something wrong. Let's go ahead and throw on the M4. I don't remember precisely where the Master and Corrosive were, but I'm sure that they will come out to see us. In fact, go back to the Warhammer, because we don't want to shoot until we see something actually dangerous. We don't want to waste a bunch of ammunition and make a bunch of noise on something we don't really need to fight. Yeah, again, Masters aren't super dangerous. It's mostly their ability that makes them dangerous. The fact that they can resurrect. Can they resurrect? I don't think they can. I think they can just upgrade nearby enemies. Where am I going? Straight down is the gardening supply. So it was to the east of the gardening supply. Oh, I see you. So there's the Corrosive. Really need to kill the Master because they will continually upgrade nearby enemies, which is real bad. I don't actually see the Master. Let's see if we can bait some of these up here to clear them out, because there was quite a lot of monster density here as well. Because I changed my minimap, it's very hard, if we look here at the minimap, very hard to see these dots. So it's a little difficult for me to determine when there are a lot of enemies around. We're just, honestly, as long as we don't see the Corrosive running up to us, we can just engage them in melee without too much issue. So I think in that episode I was talking about movies again. It's so difficult when you lose footage to remember what you talked about in which episode. So, like, I know we previously talked about, like, I was watching some horror movies, and then I decided to watch some space movies, and we talked about Apollo 13 and The Martian a little bit, and things like that. I also watched Red Planet, which is like the Val Kilmer. There you are. That's the Master. There are casings around him. Seems unlikely that there's a turret over here. Zombie Master, once human, its features have tightened, its lips pulled back into an unnatural grin revealing rows of blackened teeth beneath its large, piercing eyes. Stands tall and its movements are fluid and tightly controlled. A feeling of danger permeates the air around it, and the light that falls on it somehow seems harsher and more glaring. So yeah, that dude's a major priority for us to kill. Really concerned about the... So we're going to start, yeah, we're seeing the child zombies that are over here. They can be an issue if they all bum rush us at once. For the most part, it shouldn't be a huge issue. Where is this corrosive? I wish I could understand this map. You have spotted me. So what we're going to do is immediately swap to our M4. Where are you, bud? You've disappeared behind the trees, so we're going to back up. Zombie Master is coming for us as well. Can we actually hit this guy? Not really. We're going to let him approach a little bit more. I don't know what kind of armor they have. We hit him for 28, which is pretty reasonable. Really need to be careful with the corrosive. Yes, please stop interrupting me. Again, this is going to draw their attention. Excellent. He's dead. We're going to back up. We're not really close enough to hit the corrosive. I don't think we're going to get great aim on him. Ignore. As long as nothing comes behind us. What was that? Acid sprays out of the corrosive zombie as it is hit. I didn't know they did that. That's interesting. So, used to be acid would kill other zombies that stepped in it. It's weird that that tree sprite just overlapped the woman that's here. But there's acid splatter here, and it used to be that it would damage zombies. I don't know if that's still true. Our goal here is to kill the corrosive. If we can kill the corrosive, we hit the tree. Excellent. We can swap and start attacking in melee. Honestly, we may just run away, given how dangerous this is, that there are so many of them approaching. I need you guys to get out of the way so I can hit the corrosive. Come on now. Come on. Let's back up some more. See if we can get a line on him. This tough zombie's approaching. Okay, he's down. Great. So what we're going to do, we're going to run back. And we're going to swap to our Warhammer. Turn off running. And then we will fight a lot of them hand to hand. And if things get... I really don't want to deal with being poisoned right now. We've been getting poisoned pretty frequently lately, and it always seems to lead to head damage. So I'd rather not be weak as well while we're about to engage a bunch of zombies in melee. So let's go back to the Warhammer. And let's just take a few turns, see what happens. They're stuck down there to the south. 0 rounds. No, I'm good. Let's go batter this person. Smash the bodies. I guess we'll grab another lighter. We really don't need things like that at this point. Why don't we rest? No. No, 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 no. Okay. Go bludgeon the remainder. Ignore. Sounds like my family just got home banging the front door. Batter these gentlemen and or ladies. Ignore. Watch Red Planet. I know it's not a very good movie. A lot of people really dislike that movie. We're going to do the corrosive and we're going to dismember. Ignore. You were attacked, yes. So, once again, I don't really get it. used to be if you hit ignore, it would still prompt you if the message was different from the message you initially ignored. Looks like that's not the case anymore, and I keep forgetting that, and then I end up in a position like this. And what I don't understand is that there's no way that these three enemies arrived at us at the same exact time. So what that means is that the game ignored several messages about them missing us, I would assume, while the other ones closed ground, because them all moving into melee range with us over the course of one turn or so is very, very unlikely. So, very annoying. I'm not sure what the issue is precisely. I think when I hit ignore, it just literally ignores all messages. I didn't mean to dissect. Stop. Stop. I don't want to waste an hour dissecting. Okay. Corpse. Soldering iron, I guess. Take the crack. I never used drugs in this game, really. Not sure what crack would be good for. I assume it would work as a painkiller. Like our 5th wrench, and we have like 4 toolboxes. Oh, the loot's a little just borked lately. Okay, the old zombie masters. Mash him up. No, I don't need chamomile. Although, I don't think I really knew chamomile was in the game. Hop over here. See what we got. Oh, more chamomile? Sure. Give me the chamomile. Does this go bad? White chamomile flowers used as herbal remedy since the ancient times. Okay. Take that. So we're just going to harvest a lot of this stuff so that we can get the seeds, so that we can have like a proper garden. You know, it's summer day 1. Oh, summer day 1. Oh, bee balm as well is a cold remedy. So it's usually good to have some of that laying around. Mugwort is, I believe, an anti-parasitic you can turn it into. Also, pretty good thing to have just laying around. And here's the gardening shop. Now, when we came in here before, there were literally like 100 seeds. I mean, I guess because it was previously generated, we were going to find the exact same things we found last time. Let's use the all pickup here. In fact, let's just haul them. No, ignore. It's going to be annoying with the daycare right over across the street where all them little goblins are. I really don't necessarily want to fight them. We kind of want to get access to the bakery that's down here. Oh, is it next door? It must be this building. Which is going to require us to engage all those annoying little buggers. So that's a bit of an issue. If we did this at night, I wouldn't have to deal with all these messages. Ignore. Ignore. There's one coming in from the north. Go ahead and grab all the seeds. I assume we can pick them up like immediately. Dangerously close. Yeah. See, I don't get the messaging. I wish we could pin down more reasonable messaging, like, hey, maybe don't say dangerously close unless they're actually dangerously close. Like, being, 8 tiles away is not necessarily dangerously close. Although, I suppose if it was like a tank or something and it waited till they were within 3 tiles, I'd probably complain about that too. I think it's just one of those things where no matter what you do, it will always be mildly annoying. So, no disrespect intended, developers. I know some of you watch my stuff. I love your game. You're amazing. Keep up the good work, all that jazz. Ignore. So here we've gotten just a few seeds. Probably enough to carry us forever. Now the problem is most of this is not very interesting. Most vegetables in the game have very low calories. They're not particularly potent in the recipe business. Like how often do, how many things actually use potatoes in this game? Not very many. So it's like, how relevant is it really to make them? The main things from here, pumpkin is good because it stores for long periods of time and it's very voluminous, so eating it can fill you up without putting a bunch of calories in you. Same is true of cabbage. Other than that, barley, I think, used to have a fair number of calories. I think you would just boil barley. Nothing else really jumping out at me is super valuable. Corn, we can make cornmeal. And then wheat, of course, for flour. But the problem is, we could just go out to a farm somewhere and get hundreds of wheat pretty easily. Other than that, we could plant some mugwort, some bee balm, so we have more remedies in the future. Not super valuable, honestly. Gallon jug of liquid fertilizer. We'll take that because that's not going to be as big as a sack of fertilizer. Because we kind of do want to pick up. I mean, we could just take both and make a trip back home before we go deal with all these kids. So let's head home and drop things off. It was a pretty okay outing. We dealt with the corrosive and the master without them ever getting close to us. Dealt with a little horde there, not a big deal. The kid zombies are going to be annoying because they're difficult to hit, which I don't really get it. I guess because they're kids, they're supposed to be like, oh, well, they're really energetic and they move around a lot and they're hard to hit. But like, they're also zombies, you know? Like, it's not like some things in the game, it makes sense they're hard to hit. Like, we have giant flies and things like that. You know, I'm sure they're buzzing around erratically, they're relatively small, and they're moving around. But we're talking about children, like, of an indeterminate age here. So it's like probably between 3 and 5 feet tall, you know? I was 5 feet tall in 4th grade. I was a very tall child. So it's not like a tiny thing that's darting in and out. It's a zombie that's child-sized, pretty easy to hit, I would imagine. So that always annoyed me that they're so much harder to hit. I think they have a decent dodge skill, and that's what it is. So, man, my throat is just destroying me today. Yeah, I watched Red Planet, and then I watched, I think it's called The Last Days on Mars, which was like Liev Schreiber. Oh, please don't crash. I just dealt with a bunch of zombie stuff. So we're going to just hopefully draw some of their attention. No, really? We kind of don't want to fight all of them at once. That one saw us. So we'll let that one come up here. Problem is, once one comes up, they'll eventually start smashing the car, which will make noise and draw the others. I don't want to. I was going to go down there and open that door. Yeah, but they've spotted us. Let's do it anyway. I was going to say because it'll take them a little while to work through the fence. It doesn't look like that actually did slow them down. How can we do this? Well, they can smash shelving. So it's not like a super blockade because they'll just smash it. But it at least lets us filter them a little bit. Yeah, Liev Schreiber. There's a very attractive woman in that movie. It's basically a space zombie movie. Zombies on Mars. It was not very good. Very pretty woman in it. I had just seen her. She was in that Born to Kill series I had watched on Shudder a while back. She played the mom in that. She's probably like, I don't know, I'm 31. She's probably like 38. She's a little older than me, but absolutely gorgeous. Always helps to have a beautiful woman in something, in a movie. It helps you, you know, keep your interest on that. So, and then Liev Schreiber is like a legitimately great actor. I think he picks a lot of bad projects, personally. I think he's been in a lot of stuff that's not very good. Obviously, Ray Donovan is like really good. But most of the stuff, like, you know, he was in Scream. I actually hated his character in Scream and his acting. Thought was absolutely terrible. He was in that movie Defiance with, who plays James Bond? Can't think of his real name off the top of my head. Also a very handsome man. He was in Defiance. It was a World War II movie about a group of Jewish people who moved into the forest when the Nazis came and were kind of, you know, not being very good people. And so these, you know, these Jewish people retreated to the forest and lived in the forest kind of until it was a little safe to come out. And it's the story of these brothers, and they're trying to survive. And it's Liev Schreiber, and I can't think of his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's gonna drive me nuts. Whatever. He was James Bond. I can't think of his real name. Daniel Craig, of course. So I watched that. That was not very good. Started to watch Mission to Mars, which was the Don Cheadle, Tim... What's that guy's name? He was Andy in Shawshank. What's his real name? Tim something? Tim Robbins, I think. That movie, the acting, and the story was so bad, I actually turned it off like 20 minutes into the movie. Thought it was terrible. So I did not watch that. And then this week I watched Final Destination because the podcast I like was covering it this week. You probably heard me talk about it in some of my series somewhere. It's called The Horror Virgin. It's a podcast where basically three friends. One of them hates horror movies and the other two really like them. So they are basically forcing their friend to watch these horror movies despite the fact that he hates them. And then they discuss them, and talk about like, oh, well, I like this because this. And I thought this scene was good because blank, and etc. Don't you worry about blank. Let me worry about blank. That's not how that joke goes, but I don't care because it's the internet and I'm talking to myself and it's hard to maintain conversation and not sound like a rambling idiot. Yeah, watch Final Destination because that was the movie they were covering this week. That movie is not very good. I thought Elijah Wood was in it, but it turns out that no, it was not Elijah Wood at all, and I have no idea why I thought that. But movie is not very good. It's a classic example of like a really great concept followed up with really poor execution. So like, right, the idea is that like, oh, death is stalking these people, right? And it's like these ridiculous like kills that make no sense. It's a great example of someone who's like, oh, I have a good idea for a movie. What if, people survive something and then are stalked by death? And I am ruining the movie a little bit, spoiling the movie, but honestly, if you haven't seen Final Destination, you probably weren't alive in the 90s, I guess, because it was a real big franchise there for a while. Or else you're not a horror fan, and then you probably don't care if I spoiler it. But like, yeah, the idea is like, oh, well, you survive a horrible event should be the best moment in your life that you made it through, and then it turns into, oh no, it's not okay at all. We're still gonna die. Can't believe there was not more flour in this bakery. Did we miss a shelf area somewhere? I mean, sugar, I came here for flour. We really didn't find any. We found a bunch of milk products, some salt, and some sugar. What kind of bakery has no flour in it? Please have flour back here. Dried rice in the bakery? And powdered eggs? We'll take powdered eggs. Rucksack? Yes. Cotton trench coat? No thank you. Leather jacket? We'll take another travel pack because ours is dying. See what we got up here? Bird food. I mean, it's neat they added a little roof area. Oh, it's cool. It has a bird in it. You are a chicken. Why is there a chicken? You're not allowed to keep chickens. I wonder if they'll jump off. They do not. You're not allowed to keep chickens in urban areas. Oh, solar panels. Okay. Oh, we definitely should come up on roofs more often so we can look around and see where solar panels are. So the buildings to our west both have solar panels. Let's go map. Note. I don't know if these will starve to death or what. Chickens on roof. Just in case I decide to harvest some chickens. I would really like to cross just roof to roof, but I don't think you can do that. So we're going to head back down. Oh, we should really call the episode. What was I talking about? Let me wrap up my thoughts. Final Destination. Yeah, not super good. By today's standards, a lot of plot holes and nonsense, but ultimately enjoyable if you watch the movie way back in the day like I did. And then I proceeded to watch the next two in the franchise as well. So I'm on Final Destination 3. I'm about halfway through. Anyway, that's going to wrap this episode. Sorry we didn't get more done. Mostly I was just concerned about, because we had lost content, I didn't want to walk away from the zombie master and end up having that guy like proliferate all these powerful zombies. So we wanted to come back and take care of that as soon as possible. The fact that we're seeing a corrosive is almost certainly just because of the zombie master. It's not because we are suddenly all really advanced in our evolutions. I think that just was a zombie master. The fact that we saw a zombie master is concerning because there's really nowhere that guy should have spawned from this early in the game. I thought, in fact, I don't think I've seen one in a really long time, just because they are much rarer now and they don't spawn in the early game. So I don't know, that might have had something to do with us time traveling with the forge and that kind of stuff. It could have advanced our evolution timer more than I would like, but we're in a good enough position that we're pretty survivable. We have not a super healthy store of ammunition, but we're okay. We do have a warhammer and good armor. Anyway, we need to call the episode. So for now, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I, of course, will be back with more Cataclysm content in the near future, and I'll see you in the next one.